His Excellency the Governor of West Bengal, Mananiya Mukhyamantri Ji, colleagues and friends on the dais, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. 3 বছর কিফ আসতে পারিনি, আপনাদের সঙ্গে দেখা করতে পারিনি, তাই অনেক কষ্ট হয়েছে। মমতা দি, আপনাকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আবার আমাকে নিমন্ত্রণ করলেন এখানে আবার আসার সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ কলকাতা আবার ভালোবেসে ডাকার জন্য। কলকাতা আমার বাড়ির মতো। আপনাদের জামাইবাবু জীবনভর আপনাদেরই জামাই থাকবে। A great joy for me to be here after 3 long years at the inauguration of yet another edition of Kolkata's prestigious International Film Festival. The festival, ladies and gentlemen, has always celebrated the inclusive spirit of cinema beyond the confines of what Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore called narrow domestic walls. I salute you, Kolkata, for giving me my first job. I salute you, Kolkata, for giving Jaya her first film in Mahanagar, directed by Satyajit Ray. But most of all, I salute you for your artistic temperament that embraces the essence of plurality and equality. This is what makes Bengal so special. আপনারা সবাই ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, এই আমার আন্তরিক মনোকামনা। The pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, has indeed been ruthless, a gruesome situation we were unprepared to face. There was a sudden change in the status quo that altered the very dynamics of global economics, be it in the functioning of business or our film industry. So today we wonder what is in store for us in the future. Given all possible precautions, we can take heart from a checkered past in which, despite pestilence, wars, changing social dogmas and political turmoil, film industries all over the world have always propagated courage and faced every challenge head-on. Man, ladies and gentlemen, has always been a social animal, and the need to belong to a community and participate in a group of activities is a primal human need. Long before the advent of cinema, people turned to various forms of collective activity for entertainment, mainly centered around religious ceremonies and folk expressions. Be it the temple dances from South India and Manipur that gave birth to some of our major classical dance forms, or the North Indian tradition of the Ram Leela and the Ras Leela that married mythology and theatre in their most accessible formats. The tradition of kirtans and qawwalis were born at a place of worship, like temples and dargahs, to give communities a sense of companionship and solidarity. Compared to these age-old practices, cinema is a relatively newer phenomenon. Our first silent film, Raja Harishchandra, opened in the Olympia Theatre, Bombay, on the 21st of April, 1913, merely a few years before the dual setbacks of the First World War and the advent of the dreaded Spanish flu. Earlier, the Russian flu, often described as the first modern influenza pandemic, erupted between 1889 and 1892 and is believed to have killed more than 1 million people. However, 3 years later, once the danger had subsided, the world's first ever public screening of 10 of Lumiere brothers' short films took place in Paris on the 28th of December, 1895. As with the current pandemic, the 1918 Spanish flu also spread through international travel on steamships and trains packed with soldiers returning from the First World War. In India, the disease arrived in Bombay on a trooper ship from Mesopotamia in May, peaking in October. Mahatma Gandhi, ladies and gentlemen, the chief architect of India's independence, was one of the millions who contracted the Spanish flu. Had he not survived India's struggles to shed the British colonial yoke, would have taken a drastically different turn. The virus, described by the media as the dog that did not bark but remained ferocious with every bite, is believed to have affected close to 1/3 of our planet's population. In India itself, an estimated 18 million people died during that time. But ironically, it was also instrumental in uniting the people against the British, who had neglected all healthcare norms. Despite these turbulent times, India saw the birth of its film industry that continues to fly the flag high in our 75th year of independence and has managed to keep the egalitarian spirit of cinema alive for over 100 years.